Working the night shift at the small, isolated petrol station had always been uneventful. I'm Anna, a university student, and this job was my quiet escape from the chaos of day-to-day life. But that tranquility was shattered one fateful night. It was a night like any other, the clock ticking slowly towards 3 a.m. The fluorescent lights hummed above me as I restocked some shelves, the quiet occasionally punctured by the distant whoosh of a passing car. That's when he walked in. His entrance was almost ghost-like, his footsteps muffled by the old linoleum floor. He meandered through the aisles, his presence casting a shadow that felt too heavy for the room. He picked up a snack, examined it, and then put it back with a care that seemed exaggerated. His head was always tilted downwards, hiding his face under the brim of his hat. My intuition screamed that something was not right. I tried to busy myself with work, but my eyes involuntarily followed his every move. He seemed to sense my gaze, his movements growing more erratic. Eventually, he made his way to the counter. "Nice night, isn't it?" he said, his voice unexpectedly soft. The conversation started casually, but I felt unease creeping up my spine. His questions quickly turned personal. "Do you often work alone at night? What time do you finish?" I answered with as little detail as possible, my responses short, tinged with apprehension. Feeling increasingly uncomfortable, I made an excuse to end the conversation. "I really need to get back to work," I said, my voice trembling slightly. As I stepped back, he reached out, his movements sudden and startling. I leapt away just in time, his fingers missing me by inches. Heart racing, I sprinted to the back of the station, the bathroom. I slammed the door shut, my hands shaking as I turned the lock. Almost immediately, I heard him pounding on the door, the sound echoing in the small space. In my panic, I dropped my phone. It skidded across the floor, coming to a stop just out of reach. I stretched, my fingers barely grazing it, then pulled it towards me. The 911 operator's voice was calm, a stark contrast to the chaos around me. "Please, hurry," I whispered, disclosing my location. Outside, his relentless attempts to break down the door continued, but then the wail of sirens cut through the night, and the pounding ceased. Silence enveloped the station once again, but it was a silence filled with fear and dread. I remained huddled in the bathroom, my body trembling uncontrollably, until I heard the police announce themselves. They found him soon after, a mere 10 minutes later, lurking in the shadows of the nearby woods. He was a known offender, they told me later, with a history of erratic and dangerous behavior. Sitting in the back of the police car, wrapped in a blanket, I answered their questions mechanically. My mind was elsewhere, replaying the night's events, each moment a vivid flash of terror. The aftermath was a blur of police statements and concerned calls from family and friends. I quit the job the next day, the thought of returning to that station unbearable. The experience haunted me, a constant reminder of how quickly normalcy can spiral into fear. In the days that followed, I struggled with anxiety and a deep-seated fear of being alone at night. But as time passed, I found strength in my resilience. I learned to trust my instincts, to be more aware of my surroundings, and to never underestimate the value of being cautious.